All right, I'm at another property that was a rental property. Let me show you how I go about evaluating this and what we're going to do with it. So the first thing that you want to do when you're looking at a house like this is a lot of times you see this old exterior. It's a wood frame and it's covered in this case with vinyl siding. And sometimes they also have wood frame on the outside. You can do quite a big difference to a house by stuccoing the exterior and making it look like a much newer house. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inside. So this was originally a rental. The tenants that were in here actually lived in here for 10 years. So when I acquired this property, the rent was about $800 a month from the previous owner. And then I increased that to $1,000 and then later to $1,200 and then to $1,400. And that tenant stayed in the property for quite some time. So as you can see by the background with these blue color walls, right? The house is pretty neglected. It definitely needs a makeover. So let me go ahead and show you what the kitchen looks like. So you're probably horrified looking at this, right? But this is pretty standard for the way tenants leave a rental property. If it's been in a long time, there's a lot of deferred maintenance. One of my preferred methods of acquiring rental properties is to buy them with a tenant in place. And I have a specific reason for that. A lot of times when you're looking to buy a property from a wholesaler or at a discount, the tenant is very resistant to the sale of the property. And so they're not very cooperative with people who want to see the property. So if you're able to, like me, go by, take a look at it, review the comps, and take some interior pictures that the owner sends you and make a decision based on that, you can oftentimes beat out a lot of other investors to buying a house like this. So in this case, I purchased this house from another investor who had a tenant in place, and I simply acquired that tenant and then kept them in place for, I want to guess, around 5 years or so, right? My purchase price on this house when I purchased it was only $75,000 about 5 years ago. The house got appraised when I did a refinance last year for $242,000, all right? So quite a big move in real estate in the last 5 years. So now the question is, well, what do I do with this house? Well, let me just go ahead and give you a little bit of a pano of the rest of the house so you can see what we're dealing with. So as you can see, not very pretty, right? And it's also pretty hot in here as well. But really the sore point on this house is the outside. Let me just show you what the exterior looks like. So there's two things we can do with this house. The first thing is we can try and keep it as a rental and do as little as possible. In other words, not spend a lot of money. So in that case, what we'd do is we'd keep this tile floor. Actually, a couple of pieces are cracked, but we do have some spare over there that we can use. We'd repaint the interior, put in new blinds, new ceiling fans. The one bathroom is pretty decent. We could probably get away with that. The big dilemma on this kitchen is whether to resurface these cabinets or whether to put in new cabinets. Definitely put in some new appliances. And then on the exterior, just paint it and have it ready for rent. That's one option. The other option is we completely remodel the house. Stucco the exterior, which is my preferred method, along with new windows. And then we put a brand new kitchen and new countertop. We go with a granite or quartz over here, and we put new flooring and we make the house brand new. The difference in prices, I actually just met my guy at the house, and we're looking at about $40,000. The breakdown of that is about $10,000 for the stucco, $5,000 for the windows installed with permit, and $25,000 on the interior. And including appliances, we're looking probably at about $39,000, $40,000. That's a $40,000 complete makeover on this house. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. It was appraised at $240,000. in its existing condition with a tenant in place, it would probably appraise a little bit better than that, although the market is a little softer now, so probably come in about the 250 price point on an appraisal, maybe 260. That's one option, and if we're going to do that, then we could either choose to put it on the market and sell it, or we could rent it out, and because it looks so good, it would get a high rent multiple, probably around $1,600 a month. That's one option. The other option, keep the flooring, try and resurface the cabinets, switch out appliances, repaint, do the blinds, ceiling fans, and the estimate on that is about $12,000 or $13,000, and then simply put a tenant in, and then it'll be a lower amount, probably around $1,400 a month, maybe $1,500. So the question is, which of those two is better from a mathematical perspective? The second option is better from a cash flow to money put out, but from a perspective of your house looking good and keeping it the way you want for the long haul, refurbishing this house completely might make sense. We've got a long-term mortgage locked in from last year. And another option is we consider turning this into an Airbnb. So right now, I'm going to go back on a pencil and paper and really figure out with my contractor which of these two options we want to do. All right, guys? We do have an Airbnb boot camp coming up where we run through these scenarios and we show you how we analyze what to do with a property and which is the best scenario. So if you're interested in that, make sure you check that out on our website. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video.